Yo, let's get the business.
Yo, let's get the business. Yo, I'm with the great, legendary, infamous, notorious, biggest media man I know. I'm talking about this is major bucket list for me. I'm standing in greatness right now, man. Everything he touches is gold.
You need to up your bucket list. We gotta raise the bar of what greatness like we gotta set it higher. But
he's keeping it humble, man. But
I appreciate you.
Seriously, I look at you as a Kentucky basketball expert. I don't think there's anything I couldn't ask you that you may not know a few things, but I don't think there's anything that exists that you don't know of.
I mean, yeah, it's funny. Like I grew up just like studying stats and like being like when I was growing up, they called me like the stat man. Like my old football coach was like, oh, kid, I just love that. I love digging into the numbers and the stats and all that stuff. I would remember like, oh, this kid grew up in this town, went to this high school. And I remember my dad would be like, how do you know that? That dude played 35 years ago. I'm like,
yo, I just know.
It's funny. I kind of like spoke it into existence that this is what I end up doing.
Okay.
So I didn't create a secondary path. This was the only thing that I did. So I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't. So I was
going to ask you that. So this early manifestation, was you in there like playing cards and stuff? Because that's where all the stats is at. I was big into that.
Dude, I love them. So I used to go to that Target aisle. I would. Whoa. So what's funny is my stepdad, we would go play horse in the backyard, and I'd say, hey, if I beat you at horse, you gotta take me to Target and give me a pack of cards. Like I'd be like every 20 minutes, hey, let's go play horse. Be like, bro, you already, I can't afford to play horse with you anymore. So let's just stop. So yeah, I developed like a little like trading card addiction as a kid. And that reading the back and learning all the names and all that stuff. Man, I love it.
Oh man, the flare, the tops, all that, man. I loved it. You sound like me. I was crazy about those things. Trading them, and then you got the big trapper keepers and all that. So look, but let's get the business though. Seriously though, legendary sports radio, KSR, standout journalist and podcast host affiliated with Kentucky Sports Radio, hosting the podcast Sources Say under the KSR umbrella, of course. Big Blue Nation. Let's get the business. On Sources Say podcast, you all break down Kentucky basketball affairs, recruiting news, of course, player analysis, related topics. Socially served as a host and you're a co-host on KSR radio show itself. When regular hosts are gone, you alongside the well-known professional Maggie Davis, efficient writing contributions, and Kentucky sports, especially basketball and recruiting. You're really heavy in that information. And via the KSR and associated media outlets. You wear the Big Blue Nation tag proudly, I feel like, because I'm a fan, but to me, you're like a monumental, like put on the billboard Kentucky guy. You know what I mean? The fans embrace you with open blue arms, and you're highly respected with your viewpoints, your perspectives, your takes on certain Kentucky sports topics, and you're fun to be around. The charismatic, unique sauce and media flavor, and your fun and uplifting energy, serving as a main media source outlet for years now. Yo, so
ladies and gentlemen,
Jack Pilgrim.
Oh my God.
I had to do it right and clear, man. I got to do it right for the people in the back, man. Because I feel like everybody knows you. In this case, there's those few people in the corner.
That's all right.
That may not know your middle name. But you guys, KSR, I'm a big follower of y'all. Y'all do a fantastic job. You, Zach, and the crew delivering late-breaking news, update, specific details. Y'all always right on time, dependable, and nurturing some of those season jitters and waiting pains. You know what I mean? That these Wildcat fans are suffering and going through until the first tip-off. I mean, dang, we gotta go to sleep.
Almost here, baby.
We're almost here.
We're almost here.
Yeah. I mean, we'll beat Halloween. You know what I mean? So yeah.
We got Pro Day Tuesday. We got Media Day Monday. Yeah. Pro Day Tuesday, and then Big Blue Madness and all that
Madness.
Stuff. So we're here.
October 11th, right?
Yep.
You're gonna be there, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna be there.
There we go.
Man, I grew up, Kentucky crazies. My mom and them. They were the tent people camping out on campus.
The
97.
The best people.
Yeah. No, the golden untouchable years. Mm-hmm. They were camper outers. So I grew up around those wild hooligans. So first up, how'd you come up geographically first?
So I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. I went to Eastern High School. So I should have like where I grew up, around people that I grew up, probably should have ended up going red. But so my sister was the first, like she was my oldest sibling. She went to the University of Kentucky. She did architecture and all that. Then she kind of transitioned later and became a PA. But, you know, her going to Kentucky and going to the sporting events and talking about like, oh man, you know, Andre Woodson just did this on the football field and, you know, Ramel Bradley this and Joe Crawford this, and like talking about just right in like the heat of my like growing up in the heat of my childhood of my fandom, like the heart of my fandom. My oldest sibling kind of showed me the ropes and was like, hey, if you want to go to a game with me, if you want to, you know, come, I can sneak you into the student section. And she made me feel a part of that. And I was like, well, there's not another place in the world that I'm going to go to school than the University of Kentucky. So that really just kind of unlocked a level of just like passion just going, being on campus when I was way too young to be at University of Kentucky dorms. I was, you know, staying overnight at my sister's dorm and all that. It was a blast. I loved it, but I wouldn't change a thing because that started a path of my passion and kind of what led to be my job. So yeah, I never could have imagined going anywhere else but the University of Kentucky.
That's super cool how like birthed your career basically. And people, I'm sure they teased you and gave you hell about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Geographically, like
my
from over here,
my childhood best friend was a diehard U of L fan. I always like brought up Taekwon Dean and Francisco Garcia and like all the early kind of OG, you know, Rick Pitino guys, you know, who we would always kind of go back and forth to that era. Well, we got this. Well, y'all got this. And so that was kind of, you know, I would put on a jersey in my backyard. We had a trampoline in my backyard. I remember I would put on a Kentucky jersey. He'd put on a Louisville jersey, and we'd go up and like dunk on each other in the, you know, put the trampoline up by the basketball goal. We'd go up and dunk on each other and stuff.
So that, like me.
And so that was like the start of my getting into it. But I had a lot of people in my life that were my brother ended up going to U of L. So like I had, my mom's a diehard U of L fan, so like I had a lot of Louisville in my family, but now my sister is the lone reason why I ended up steering toward Kentucky.
So that's like a firm example of this culture, this Kentucky culture. You know what I mean? It's ballistic like that. You can be from over here, but rock with this color. But you got to choose.
And there's no ifs, ands, there's no in between. I support both. I can root for both if they're not playing. No, we do not do that here.
We definitely do that on this side.
You either love or hate. There is nothing in between.
Right. There's no gray confusion there. Get over here or over there.
Correct.
But yo, of course you was an early sports fan for sure. So, but your early interest as far as media, that gradually came along. So
I don't know if I've ever put this out publicly or not. Maybe I have. I can't remember. But I grew up so I remember in 7th grade, I started a Twitter account called Recruit Kentucky. And I was, I was 12 years old, 12 years old, I think. And I started that and that's how I started like talking to recruits, DMing recruits. But again, I was a 12, 13-year-old kid. Obviously, they're never going to respect who I am or what my name, you know, like I'm a 12-year-old. Like they're just shoot kid, you know, whatever. So I had to like hide behind an alias for the first 5 years of this. And I started doing it and I started picking up a bunch of followers on, you know, Twitter, and I would write for, there's a website called like varsitypreps.com or something. I would just interview these kids, these, you know, up and coming 4-star basketball recruits, football recruits. I would interview them, and again, they wouldn't know who I am, or, you know, they probably should have done their due diligence of who they were talking to because they were literally talking to a child. But me doing that sparked, like, that's how I started, you know, learning how to write and how, you know, how to, like, you know, kind of put together interviews and things like that. So I got started in 7th grade, and I picked up, and I really kind of started kind of making a name for myself, I'd say sophomore year of high school, where people really kind of started knowing who I am and all that stuff. They never knew my actual name. They always just knew me as like the Recruit Kentucky guy.
That's cool. That's why I know you as the Recruit Kentucky guy too now. You're like a whole like mixture of that, right? Because you're heavy into the recruiting and the media. But that's crazy how you just started off early, educated and facilitating. You know what I mean? Like good with wording, I'm sure, and not afraid to talk to anybody. You know, like your communication skills, you were confident in that. To be a kid and talk to recruits, I mean, that's wild.
But a lot of it was DM. A lot of it was like, you know, I could formulate like, via text and all that stuff. So like I had to kind of go my own path because I couldn't just like, I would pick up the phone, but like, you know, I didn't even hit puberty yet for like some of the very, very early stuff. It'd be like,
hey, the powers of the internet.
Hello, it's me, Recruit Kentucky. I just like, so I had to get creative with it.
Right.
But yeah, it ended up working out, man. That kind of started the fandom side of things where, you know, when I got started with this, it was like super frowned upon to be a fan in media. Like you were not allowed to, I know like in today's era, you know, the Stephen A. Smiths and the, you know, the Pat McAfee's, that, you know, the entertainment value is kind of become more of a priority in today's current sports media field than like, you know, written journalism and than to write, you know, in newspapers and things like that.
People don't even use the word journalism.
It's just the way media has changed over the years. But when I got started, it was super frowned upon to, you know, say we and I, you know, my team and us and things like that. And I kind of had to do things knowing KSR, and you know, KSR was always my dream. Like I always, as a kid, I was scrolling through in computer class. I remember reading KentuckySportsRadio.com as a child and saying, I want to do this one day. Yeah. And that kind of setting the tone of what I wanted my future to look like. So that part was really cool. Just kind of speaking that part of it.
That is cool. Because like you say, interesting enough, it's not as structured. You don't have to be under certain umbrellas. The landscape of media is a lot more open now and independent. It is. How you feel about the new space? Would you rather be this way?
Yes and no. I love that today's era embraces voice and you know, opinion and being, you know, I work for a fan site. KentuckySportsRadio.com is the, you know, largest team specific fan site in the country. Absolutely. And there's a reason for that. It's because the fans want to hear from a fan. They want to hear somebody that has a like-minded view. They want to have somebody that cares the same way that they do, share or differ in opinions of like, hey, if you are a diehard fan of a coach or diehard fan of a player and they're in a slump or whatever, they want to hear why they're going to be able to break out of that slump or why that dude needs to be fired. If the person that you're reading or listening to or watching on YouTube or whatever has that same level of passion that you do, there's a level of kind of credibility that comes with that says, hey, I'm not crazy for having this opinion that it's time for this coach to get fired, or this gets time for this coach to get hired, or this, you know, whatever the case, you have somebody that's on your team in a sense of like, hey, this guy bleeds blue the same way I do. It adds like a level of, hey, I can trust what he's saying because I know he's not a hater. I know he's not somebody, you know, a fan of another team or you know, trying to kind of toe the line and be as you know, unopinionated as possible. Somebody that has a passionate, opinionated view, like I think that speaks volumes to a casual fan that wants to hear a take.
They want to hear the real.
Yeah, but also not like a hot take, somebody that just says nonsense for the sake of getting clicks. Because that's the other side of things.
That is.
If you have a passionate take, you're not just going to say nonsense for the sake of saying nonsense. You're going to say it because you believe it. You know, nobody will, if I say something, hey, I think, you know, John Calipari it was time for John Calipari to go, or it was time for Mark Pope was the wrong hire at the time, whatever the take is, you know, you have to, you know, you know that as a University of Kentucky alum, as a fan since I was, you know, in diapers, that I'm saying it because I truly believe it. It's not that I'm saying it because I know it's going to get a click, or I'm saying it because I know it's going to be the controversial take.
Well, it's kind of like the Pope effect, right?
Yeah.
We know that he bleeds blue. We know he's one of us.
Exactly.
He's part of the untouchable championship squad. He came up under Patino. I mean, this guy is Mr. Kentucky, literally. So whenever he speaks, we know it's with passion and we know it's for the best of our culture.
That's why we try to be the media version of what Mark Pope is selling.
Right.
Like that's what kind of makes it a cool thing for him to take off the way he has, is because yes, there is a, when he says, hey, I will live, breathe, and die this university, and if I fail at my job, you better tell me it is, whether I'm doing my job or I'm not doing my job, because you guys deserve it. At the end of the day, Mark Pope and KSR, we feed the same fan base. It is Big Blue Nation. They write, Big Blue Nation writes my checks, whether they're actually the ones writing it or not. If they read my stuff, if they watch my stuff, if they listen to what I'm saying, I continue to get paid. I'm able to put food on the table for my family. If I'm not, then I'm working at Kroger or something, So there's I have to feed the fan base the same way Mark Pope does, and I think that's a really cool thing.
Absolutely. And like you said, that level of sincerity, like you're right there walking with the people. So it's like, okay, we feel it's a relative thing.
I cry when you cry.
Yeah.
If we that the day that Kentucky lost to Wisconsin to
I was gonna say Georgia last year, but Wisconsin,
I cried.
Oh Lord, that's next level.
When I'm standing there looking at Oscar Tshiebwe sobbing in his locker after his career comes to an end at Kentucky, my heart aches for him the same way your heart aches as a fan. Absolutely. That stuff matters because, again, it goes back to the fan base wants to read and listen and hear this, somebody care the same way that I do. That if you, as a fan, as a listener, whatever, that if you were sitting there about to talk to Oscar Tshiebwe and say, hey, your career as a Kentucky Wildcat just ended. You did things that nobody in the history of college basketball has ever done. How do you even put that into words? I feel like there's a level of value and credibility that comes with me being the person to ask that question over somebody that they don't care once their contract ends with their news station or whatever, they go work in Wisconsin or whatever. It's just a job to them. For me, it's my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you're part of this UK Blue K culture. So as far as stepping stones to reach to this level of prestige media and journalism, because you have the people's trust, of course. So what are some ups and downs that got you to this level?
Oh man,
because we're with you now. Like you said, you watching Oscar Tshiebwe cry and us losing to Georgia last year. I mean, Wisconsin 2015. We really felt that as a fan base.
I would say, being there for the heartbreak and having to explain it and being the middleman between some of the hardest, saddest moments for this fan base is really, really hard to do.
What do you think is one of the biggest?
St. Peter's. When Kentucky loses to St. Peter's and you have to be the voice of reason.
The Peacocks.
When you have how do you how do you put that into words? How you just see the unthinkable happen before your eyes, and then Oakland 2 years later, things like that, where it's like, what do you even say to begin to describe that level of pain and torture? So a lot of I worked really, really hard, and I got hired as an intern in 2016. I worked all day, every day, 24/7. I didn't take a day off. I worked constantly.
You put that work in.
Sure. So I started as an unpaid intern. I got, couple $100 a month later on, and kind of worked my way up to a very, very, very part-time employee to, as I graduated in college, leaving my senior years when they hired me full-time. So kind of just going through the mud of a lot of the hey, I started as, I was just doing it for the love of the game. I wasn't doing it for $1 when I first got started, and kind of had to work my way up. And I felt like I knew that a lot of the hardships that kind of came with that, that was the territory. You have to earn your keep to be able to get to the point of being a full, doing this for full time. So all of my stuff came as hey, when I finally got it, now it's all right, now it's about the performances and the things that you're watching, that kind of dictating how good you write, or the mood that you're in when you're writing a column or a feature, or a hit, whatever the case is. So a lot of it is the actual game that I'm watching.
Yeah. So however you're feeling that day, that sets the tone for the way you deliver it.
Well, like when I'm pissed off, I write pissed off. When like I remember I was at Madison Square Garden this past year covering Kentucky. They got absolutely destroyed by Ohio State at Madison Square Garden.
That's the crackhead story?
That was the year before. That was the year before.
I didn't like that Ohio State loss, though. I didn't like that.
And
I didn't like that.
That was the first time that I felt that Kentucky got punked. That it felt like they didn't have that want to, there just felt like something was missing when they hyped up, this is Mark Pope's favorite venue in the world, outside of Rupp Arena, Madison Square Garden. It's and then they come out and just lay a total egg. You kind of write pissed off. And then unfortunately, when you write pissed off, you say things that you might regret, or you kind of speak out of emotion. But again, I think that's where the value of the trust with this fan base is, where it's like, hey, you had the same thought watching the game in real time, and you were just as pissed off, and you woke up the next morning and said, maybe it's not so bad. Just like I woke up and said it's not so bad. And then I have to write a follow-up about, like, okay, maybe it's not so bad, maybe I overreacted, but that's life, writing and talking as a fan.
Absolutely. What surprised you the most when you first started covering Kentucky sports? About the culture, the campus, the standard, anything?
That we do things differently than anybody else in this field, in media. Our output, the level of work that we put out, the number of articles that we write, how hard we work for this grind, for this fan base, because this is a fan base that eats and eats and eats and craves and craves. They are obsessed with this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's just the norm. That's the expectation for me. I grew up with that because I was that fan. I was looking for all of that stuff as a kid, and then when it became my job, then I was just feeding the same fan base. I would literally sit there on a Sunday, if I had the all-day shift on Sunday, whatever the case was, and I would say, hey, what would 13-year-old Jack want to read right now? What would what would he want to listen to? What would he all that? And that's how I would decide on how I would write, how I would write columns or whatever. But understanding how BBN operates, knowing the obsession that it is, and then knowing that nobody else in college sports, especially, like you may have like the Lakers or the Celtics or Yankees, whatever the case. Like there are other passionate fan bases, but nobody has that extra little oomph that BBN, that BBN has.
It's different here. We got Catlanta.
It's the way when I describe my job to a Georgia Bulldog fan or sports writer,
they don't even understand the language.
Whatever, they're like, oh, you wrote 25 articles today, and you're like, because that's what this fan base demands. That's
above and beyond.
That is BBN demands the next level of obsession, the way they are obsessed. And I think that was probably the most eye-opening thing, is just not understanding that nobody else feels this way about their own team.
We're different. I'm one of those crazies, man.
It's how it should be.
I watch old highlights, of 96, 98, 2025, anywhere. I mean, I'm one of those, we taped every game.
One of my gifts to my stepdad, as a Christmas gift to my stepdad as a growing up as a kid, there's a website, Wildcat, it was something, but it was not legal, and it was, got shut down later on, so I'm glad that I got it as it was still live and thriving. But it had every single big time game online.
Yo, that's crazy.
That you could go and say, 1996 national championship game, click. You could download the file, and I would burn it onto DVDs. And I would, one of my Christmas gifts to my stepdad, who was also a diehard Kentucky fan, I literally did every national championship, every Final Four, biggest comeback in, the LSU game, biggest comeback.
That,
I would hit all the, Jody Meeks 54-point game against Tennessee. All of those moments I burned on DVDs, and I that was my gift to my stepdad. It's like, name me another fan base that would do something as ridiculous as that.
Name another person on planet Earth that'll do it. So, like, you're right. It's just a different place, man. Like SEC tournament, they're going wherever it's at. It could be in Zimbabwe. They are on the way.
I've been in the Bahamas. I've been to locations and said, why are there 100 Kentucky fans here? How? That makes no sense. But
it's a special place, man.
That's how it should be.
And that's what makes us. I think that's what separates, though. You know what I mean? Not only the standard, but the team camaraderie, along with the fan base spirit. You know what I mean? The energy, the electrifying Rupp Arena. And what I was proud of last year is Rupp turned up again last year. I mean, the years before that, I was a little disappointed in the energy as a Kentucky fan, because I'm one of those crazy. So my standard's high for Rupp too. But last year they were lit and turned up in there last year.
But why was that? Because they had a reason to feel that level of excitement and engagement again, because they felt respected and appreciated. Again, that goes back to our Nashville conversation. I think Nashville is, with the SEC tournament, is one of the most beautiful organic events that you could come up with, because it is the most passionate section of the most passionate fan base in sports.
Yeah, it's different.
Showing up. And this is a fan base that uses their, vacation days, that uses their life savings they put into that event. And that's what, again, me talking as a fan, doing this job as a fan, the tail end of Coach Cal's time at Kentucky, where I thought he really nailed it early on about prioritizing, and we're going to go down to Nashville and we're going to win every game. It doesn't matter if it's Nashville or Maui or what, we're going to win every single game because we're Kentucky. I appreciated that, but when we started kind of differentiating, well, this tournament doesn't matter, we've seen that it doesn't impact NCAA tournament seeding, so we don't need to prioritize that event the same way that we used to. We got to push all of our chips in on NCAA tournament. It's like, yeah, I got you. I agree. The prize is the national championship. However, it is a slap in the face to the fan base that puts everything that they own, their money, their vacation days, into that event down in Nashville, and telling them that the event doesn't matter. So you're telling them, hey, the event that you're putting all your time and resources into, it's all a lost cause. It's all wasted. And I just thought that was kind of a little slap in the face at the time, among several slaps in the face.
That is a deep perspective.
So, but you gotta. The reason why now with BBN under Pope, it's because on the very first day he said, "Hey, we're going to prioritize Nashville again. We're going to prioritize, all of the events that you guys cared about and poured your blood, sweat, and tears into. I'm going to do the same as your head coach." I think that stuff matters, and I think that's why they responded the way they did at Rupp Arena last year, and they will continue to this.
That's hope and Pope, and even his coming out party. I mean, that was thick too out there. You ever see so many people?
That was so. Being there for that, walking into the gym, and you see people start to flood in, and you're like,
you see Wayne Turner come in.
But even before that, like when you're just seeing just the first run of fans, you go, hey, if we could get 5,000 fans in here, that'd be pretty awesome, man. Wouldn't that be pretty dope to see 5,000 fans, to see 5,000 fans show up and say, all right, yeah, let's see how it goes from here, and then have it keep going and be, all right, well, how about 10,000 fans? Hey, we're having to open up this little banner over here. They had the curtain up on the back side of where Pope was talking. They had that whole section blocked off, and you see them start to take that curtain down. You're like, well, wait a minute. So we're already talking about filling this whole side of the venue.
Unbelievable.
Now we're going to talk about filling the other side, and you start seeing it kind of go this direction and kind of fill, and you're like, we're about to fill up Rupp for a press conference.
For a
free press conference.
Not a game, not a practice. A Mark Pope, there's Hope and Pope press conference.
And then 5,000 fans. We thought 5,000 showing up would be awesome.
Right.
Then 5,000 fans are turned away at the front door saying, hey, sorry, we're at max capacity. You're going to have to wait outside and celebrate amongst yourselves sitting in the courtyard. it is the most. It's like eerie to a sense. It's like I can't believe that this is even possible for a fan base, for a college team. It was a larger than life goosebump level event.
It's hard to even put it in words, man. But I call it that big blue magic. You know what I mean? It's
the mist.
The mist. Yeah, it's that magic that the golden eras and the true fans are used to. And that's why we're such zombies. We're winning zombies, though.
Yeah, a mindless.
Yeah.
We have one goal, and it's winning national championships.
Yeah,
it's the best. It's the best zombie. The best. Yeah, it's perfect. It's
so when we don't, it's kind of like, wow. It's kind of like a small town in Texas that wins a state championship football every season. When you don't, it's like, what's going on with life? What's wrong with life? Like St. Peter's, like unfamiliar territory.
Sad, yeah.
So I get it. But I can only imagine the consistent coverage that comes with the journaling of UK athletics, like you mentioned earlier. That's a lot of work put in. You said you were on campus 4 days out of the 5-day week or something like that. So let's get to business with this. How intense is Mark Pope's practice? Because, he has the media demeanor. He's calm, laid back. He's the man of mystique. But we know how coaches can get in practice. So does he elevate his passion and his vocal power a little bit during practice?
Yes and no, because I have heard, again, local media is not allowed to watch in person, but I have moles, and I'm familiar. I'm very familiar with how practice is going, and yes, he gets animated. He says things that you probably would never expect Mark Pope to say publicly, because he's kind of this like, oh shucks, super,
like last year they slowed it down. Was it the Duke game? No, it was later on.
It was later on. Yeah, we got a BS, was it?
Something we couldn't. Nobody could make it out, but
I think it was a BS. But I heard, again, kind man, kind, such a wholesome dude.
Yeah.
But that dude has passion the way you do, and that if you let it slip every once in a while, and so does he.
He's a coach.
But he has a thing about him that he does truly want to lower his voice and not whisper, but kind of have a like, hey, if I lower my voice, you have to be more intentional about listening to me. Mm-hmm. My words are, focus on my words. Don't focus on my volume.
Right.
Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. If I speak more quietly, you have to lean in to listen to me. You're going to be more intent, on hearing what I'm trying to say. So volume is low, but he's impactful with when he chooses to raise his voice.
Yeah, I love his teaching strategy. I love his coaching strategy. To me, it's more of a teaching because he's so strategic. He's so intelligent. He's so X and O's. But he also adds a nice balance to his personality. So to me, it's just super interesting. You know what I mean? So I know you got the recruiting updates and the injury updates. So what's up with Ortega and Jaden and Mr. Quayton's after that? But what's up with the big O right now, man?
Ortega's fine. Ortega.
We freak out. We seen the boot on the foot.
By the time you are watching this video, I bet Ortega's back at practice.
Word?
Yeah.
We seen the boot.
So a boot is off. He's already back to doing skill shooting. This light
it's crazy.
It's emerged. So now we're trying to have like do this number, but we'll be all right. We're good.
That's whatever.
We're good.
Yeah.
He's already doing shooting, ball handling, things like that.
Okay. Basic skill sets.
But next week, throughout next week is when he's going to get back into the full contact stuff, and like pro day, we'll see him on Tuesday. So Ortega's just fine, and we'll know. When we see him at Big Blue Madness, he'll be full participant. When we see him at the Purdue and all the exhibition games, he'll be full.
Because the preseason, there's so much speculation going on. Like, whoa. So how do you feel whenever you call wind of his return? Because to me, that's major to us.
I don't think there was ever even a chance that he was going to leave. I think it was and again, heard what I heard, knew what I knew, listened to what he was saying about, if there's a path for me to go and all that. But I was also talking to the NBA people on their side about, what his actual draft stock was.
Right.
And knowing that, like, he had X number of dollars on the table to return to Kentucky versus what he would have made as a first-round draft pick. And the gap was so substantial of if he was going second round, I mean, he was going to make millions more to come back to Kentucky. So when you have that, it's like, well, I'm going to be a preseason SEC Player of the Year. I'm going to be an All-American. I have all the accolades. And there's a very real chance that he improves his game enough to be a first-round pick.
Absolutely.
So he had that in his back pocket, and the only risk was him working himself into first-round status. And talking to the people on the NBA side of things, they were like, I just don't know what the path would look like for him to be a first-round pick. So in my head, it was just a math equation. It was, hey, he is going to be picked 38th in the draft if he keeps his game in.
Second round.
And that's going to be X number of dollars versus what he's going to make coming back to Kentucky. He's not going to do that. He's too smart. Ortega is way too smart to rush a process that doesn't need to be rushed. And they had a full understanding of what the number was going to be, what the money was going to be.
Clear.
Mark Pope, even in the middle of the season of, hey, we're seeing that you're trending this direction, before you even have to worry about money, just know that you won't have to worry about money. You are going to be fine. So Ortega knew he was going to be taken care of. If he comes back, he was taken care of by coming back.
That's a breath of fresh air. And compared to 10 years ago, it may not have been the same decision.
Absolutely not. He would have gone pro. Yeah,
absolutely.
And that is the beauty of true NIL, how it should be.
Yeah.
Ortega will have one of the biggest brands in college basketball this upcoming season by being at the University of Kentucky.
He's at UK.
He's going to have the Nike. He's going to have all of the stuff that comes with being that because he has organically. He came to Kentucky from Oklahoma as a projected, 7th man, 8th man. He was going to be a portal. When he committed out of the portal, it was this is going to be a nice little role player. Kentucky's going to get. He worked himself organically into being a superstar at the college level. He deserves the money that comes with that, and he earned that all entirely himself. Through NIL, and that's when it works the right way.
You're right.
NIL's awesome.
Right. Where do you see NIL going? I mean, we're here. I think we're in a good space right now, and I think players they're getting well-deserved dollars. I feel like right now, but 3 to 5 years from now, where do you see it approaching?
So, I think the issue is the players are getting what they deserve, but the issue is when the players are getting what they don't deserve in the hey, this dude that averages two points a game is demanding a $2 million NIL cut. And you're like, bro, let's come on, man. It's across the board where there are too many people that have loud voices in their ears telling them things that are just not true, that are hey, you're worth X number of dollars. And you can't blame the kid because they have handlers, they have agents, they have these toxic people in their lives saying, hey, you should demand $1.5 million to come back. So they go, okay, I'm going to demand $1.5 million. And they get the stuff in front of them, the documents in front of them to say, hey, you are worth to us $200,000. And they're like, whoa, that's not $1.5 million. It's because you're being lied to. We have too many toxic human beings that are leeches that are trying to get their own and capitalizing off of these athletes' backs. And I think that is sick. I think that is the detriment of the sport and the downside of NIL in today's. It's not the kids, it's the people associated with it. So
it's the financial hungry.
So the future of this, I think, and I don't say this often, what the NCAA is doing right with the revenue sharing and how we're trying to make NIL a real NIL thing is they're cracking down on the local car dealership gives you, $100,000 to film a 30-second commercial.
Right.
That I can't go to that car dealership right down the road and as a superstar athlete and say, hey, can you give me $100,000. They'd say, we don't have $100,000. All of that was just a way to funnel money illegally, legally, you know? So they tried to get that type of negotiation out and say, hey, no, if you're going to make that, and you can make that amount of money, but it needs to be through Nike. It needs to be through Dick's Sporting Goods. It needs to be through McDonald's, you know, national brands.
Like big brands, major brands.
You can make that number of money. But so they're trying to get rid of the ridiculous deals for brands that clearly can't afford, you know, the local deals. So if it works the way, we're kind of meeting in the middle of where it should be.
That's interesting, man. That's well put, because I do see, you know, you see commercials and you see players in commercials and you wonder what's the limit. You know what I mean?
There really isn't on national deals. Like when Nike, when you see, like I remember a couple of years ago, DJ Wagner in a Nike commercial and a Dick's Sporting Goods commercial when he was at Kentucky. It was that
was cool.
NIL. Like, this is how it should be. And that's a right, you know, give a blank check to the kids. Say, hey, that's legal in the NCAA's eyes. The issue is when we start getting the small market people offering big market deals, and that's where the things have kind of gotten lost in the sauce.
It gets gray.
Yeah,
because there was some speculation when Kyle was there that there was actually $1 million offer on the table that was being left behind, but it could it could just been a rumor. The player wasn't said, but I'm sure you could probably pinpoint.
I think I remember I think I remember who you're talking about. But that deal was kind of people speaking on behalf of other people, making false promises and saying, hey, if you do this, we can get you this. And again, that's not NIL.
And that's why I mentioned it.
Right.
It can be a booster, it can be somebody else.
That's what they're trying to get away from and prioritize the kids that, you know, like Anthony, you know, when Anthony Davis was in college, how much money could he have made off of the brow?
Oh, larger than life.
Right.
Yeah.
And because that's a dude that did that his own way, that said, hey, it's a physical attribute of my body. Yeah. That is name, image.
Oh, yeah.
Likeness,
the brown.
Likeness. Yeah. Like that is true NIL in its realest sense.
You're right.
He should have been able to make millions of dollars
a natural characteristic or personal.
I remember Teddy Bridgewater when he was at Louisville. They were selling teddy bears with a 5 Louisville jersey, and he wasn't able to make $1 off that.
That's NIL. Like, that's all his money, really.
Teddy. Yeah. Wearing a number 5 jersey.
Teddy.
Garbage. That is garbage.
See, that's terrible.
That is where these kids got screwed over.
That's where the money was going over here.
So we need to meet in the middle here. We need those types of organic, like, hey, you know, Tyler Hero, the bucket. You know, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, how he's become this fashion icon. Like that stuff. Hey, he did that himself with his own brand. They deserve, you know, Oscar Tshiebwe and how much money he was able to make with NIL, and like it.
I think social media helped it too, because the players can express themselves and they can have their own personal charisma, their own characteristics of value, and that adds to their value. Yeah, I love that about it. So, how you balance out the busy schedule, man?
I'll let you know when I find out.
You sleep a lot?
Not really.
A little bit.
I'm a big like midnight go to sleep. Set my alarm for 5:30. 5:30.
There you go.
5:30.
You need 5.
And then I go to the gym and then get my day started at like 8 and then finish when I can.
No time for golf or nothing. What's a fun fact about you that people may not know? Because you're Mr. Media, Kentucky media in everybody's eyes. What's something that you don't mind sharing that people may not know about you? That's fun to mention.
Yeah, I'm a Patriots fan. I'm a Celtics fan.
Word.
I like the Red. I'm not a baseball.
Red Sox.
I do. I pretend to like the Red Sox, but I'm not. But because
it's hard to watch baseball.
Celtics and Patriots, I don't miss a game. I haven't missed a game of either of those two teams since I was since I was a kid.
See, I won the championship not too long ago, and then you got
baby,
and then you got Bill Belichick going down to North Carolina and getting
That's
spanked.
been weird, man. That's been weird. That's been very weird. And what's funny is Drake May, the Patriots quarterback, who's now like what in the weird, very weird full circle thing. So Belichick goes to North Carolina. Drake May was a star at North Carolina. He's now the franchise quarterback for the Patriots.
Drake May.
His brother, Luke May, shattered my heart when he hit the game winner against Kentucky in
Luke May
in the Elite Eight.
Wow, that was him.
It was him.
Oh, that was a heartbreaker.
2017. So
we have Malik Monk.
So I despise his brother, and I love him.
Wow.
And the head coach that I loved is now coaching at Drake May's alma mater. It's weird. Life is weird, man.
I love the sports world, though. Yeah. That's what we love about it, isn't it?
It's weird, man.
And he hit that shot. I was like, good God, I can't believe he nailed that. It looks like him.
The savior of the New England Patriots right now. Luke May is the worst human being to walk the face.
I couldn't believe he had like 4 points that game. That was 2 of them.
I thought Isaac Humphries hit that dagger on the other end. I was like, we're about to win.
Yeah.
Malik Monk had another big time shot. I was like, we're going to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Then Luke May happens.
We had a Final Four squad that year, bro. De'Aaron Fox.
They were so good.
Good God.
They were so good. So good.
So what's it like, hanging out with Jeff Goodman and them, the field of 68. Shout out to Jeff. Hey, he's a cool guy. Rob Doster. They got catchy, unique personalities with great insight. How's it feel like kicking around them with their perspectives on the program?
It's cool, man. Yeah, I think that's the cool part of, we got bought by On3.
Yeah.
So we get connected with, some of these larger brands and, national insiders and people that are, kind of the who's who and what's what of the sport. And, we are able to cross paths in that way because they're now coworkers. So like Jeff Goodman, I was telling, my wife about this, trying to explain to her Jeff Goodman.
Yeah.
Cause she she loves sports, but like not like to the point of like knowing who the sideline reporters are and stuff like that. It's just next level fandom, like John Fanta, guys like that. You don't know. It takes a special level of fandom.
Colin Cowherd, everybody doesn't know.
Separate from the getting in the nitty gritty of it. I was like, so trying to explain who Jeff Goodman was, being like, Big Blue Nation hated this dude's guts. Absolutely despised this dude forever because of how much he hated Cal. They hated each other, hated each other's guts.
They got some history?
Bad history. Yeah, they just didn't. They hate each other. And now that Pope has the job and Goodman and Pope have a good relationship, now he's buddy-buddy with BBN or with Kentucky. And now BBN's like, wait, I thought I was supposed to hate this guy.
Yeah.
And now he's speaking highly of my program. He's speaking highly of my coach. Like, I feel like I got to like this dude. So very funny dynamic with BBN. What's funny is I've always had a good working relationship with Jeff.
With Jeff, yeah.
And I appreciate him for it. I love him to death. But I liked him in a time where it was controversial to like Jeff Goodman.
Right.
Yeah. So it's funny how it worked out where he's now a coworker and now everybody likes him.
You were friends with the black sheep early.
Everybody likes Jeff.
Big shout out to Jeff, man. He's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get him on here or something, man. Yeah. So any surprise recruiting updates or potential targets?
Man, I think the one that fans care about is Tyron Stokes, man.
Yeah, he still hasn't decided?
Louisville's publicly. But yeah, Louisville's own, man. I think that's one that BBN wants bad, and he just announced his Nike deal today, and I think Louisville fans are pretty upset about that as an Adidas school.
That might be a good sign.
So that definitely trends in the right direction for Kentucky. I think it's a Oregon versus Kentucky battle with USC just kind of like flirting in the dark horse realm, but
Oregon is Nike.
I think it's in Phil Knight and the goat of Nike, the headquarters of Nike. Like it is all Nike with the Ducks. So I think it's one of those kind of staying local, playing for the bigger basketball brand. Who's going to put me in better position to be a pro at Kentucky versus an endless amount of money and Scrooge McDuck with the Ducks up in Eugene. I think he's kind of weighing those two things, but I like Kentucky's chance.
I feel it good too.
I like Kentucky's
chance.
If
it was football, I may roll with the green guys. I feel like,
and like people people heard today's news about Tyron Stokes signing with Nike and said, well, that obviously means that he's going to Oregon. It's like, okay, well, if that's your argument, wouldn't it be that Oregon had the #1 draft recruiting class every single year because Phil Knight would just funnel all of the Nike kids to Oregon and pay whatever it costs to have the best recruiting class in the world?
Right.
Yeah. They don't.
That's all the legends. They don't know yet.
They just be patient. Patient. Just take a deep breath. Everything's gonna be. You know fine. How we get. Everything's gonna be just fine. It's getting late. BBN.
We're like,
everything's gonna be just fine for BBN.
So you speak with so many interesting, legendary individuals consistently. UK legends, et cetera, et cetera. Alvin Brooks, of course. Shout out to him. Hey, major shout out to the coaching arrival in Lexington. You chatted with Mark Pope the other day. Of course, he's a member of the Untouchables. He lives, eats, breathes UK. But so what's super unique about Coach Pope's personality, you feel like?
It's genuine. The person you see on TV, the person that you see in interviews, the person that you see publicly on camera, on audio, radio, podcast, whatever, he's the same person that you see at Kroger. He's the same person that you see,
Malone's.
When cameras are off, microphones are off. Yeah. He is that same person, whether people know he's there or not. And I think that's a really special trait. He has this. I don't want this to come across in a negative way, but he has a politician approach where he's always on.
Yeah.
He never, and I'm concerned about him long term because how on he is constantly is not sustainable. Like at some point he needs to hey, you need a vacation, bro. You need a chance to just distance yourself from this stuff because you can't do this forever. But he is I've talked to staffers, people that know him better than anybody behind the scenes that say he is get up at 4:00 in the morning and nonstop till midnight. If he doesn't sleep enough that night, then hey, he got a good 30-minute nap in his office. He is constant go. And I think, again, when we were talking earlier about, the value of KSR and why KSR works and why the fan first approach works is because we care the same way that you do. Mark Pope does that with all the resources, with all the hey, I'm the face of the brand itself. But all of that, that stuff is real.
He wears
that is his baby, and he obsesses over this stuff in catering to Big Blue Nation, whatever it costs, at whatever cost. So there's a little politician to him in the sense hey, I always got to kind of look like I'm giving a presentation. I always got to look like I'm,
he's great at it
at a show, but it's real.
The way he does, he's like a natural media handler. I've never seen anybody handle the media and answer questions so on point and smoothly and as charismatic as he does.
And everything he says is calculated.
Factual.
Just take my word for it.
Yeah.
If he says something, there is a rhyme or reason behind every single word that comes out of his mouth. Yeah. He says exactly what he wants out there, publicly. He withholds things that he doesn't want out there publicly, and that's just how life works with Mark Pope. So
he's embraced.
He's very, very calculated and very he's super brilliant. He's the most brilliant basketball mind I've ever been around. But
awesome.
There is a rhyme or reason to everything that he says, and I think that's a pretty fascinating thing.
That is fascinating, especially when it comes to recruiting. You know what I mean? And that trust.
He talks about I remember he did an interview with me about, hey, we're in the middle of a chess match for a kid. We'll see how that works out. And now this cycle we're hearing Jaden Quaintance is the master chess player, and Colin Chandler and JQ and Mark Pope play chess with each other and all that stuff. Yeah. And you're that's a callback. And I know exactly what you meant by that when you said it. Okay, so there's always a rhyme or reason to what he's saying, and it makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense, especially the way he stopped Cooper Flagg on doing that spin move last year, because we seen him do the spin move. He was going to do it in the lane, spin move into the lane, and that film of him in the huddle talking to the players, I had that stuck in my head for some reason. It it was significant and special. The way he calculated, hey, Cooper's going to go this way. Cut him off. And it literally played out the exact way he instructed it. Oway got in there and cut him off.
Ortega jumps it. He gets fouled on the other end, and the rest is history.
Hit the free throw.
Yep.
So I seen you had a convo with Jay Bilas, the former Duke player, I might add, but certainly a very knowledgeable monster of the game. You all touch base.
Also up there among brilliant basketball minds. He's absolutely.
Shout out to Jay Bilas, man. He understands the game to the T.
Yep.
So and you all touch based on multiple facts and expectations leading into the upcoming season, based on last year's elements. So, but in a nutshell, how do you feel about the optimism coming into the season?
I think it's justified. I think it's deserved. I think a lot gets made about like how much Kentucky spent on this roster and all that stuff, but like I think we should focus more on the fits and the puzzle pieces and how they work together and how Mark Pope saw the flaws of last year's group. We saw the good. They scored. Top 5 scoring team in college basketball.
Joyful season.
Best. Tempo. Top 10 offense. It checked all of those. Broke the record for most 3-point makes in the history of college basketball. We were splashing the triple. So it was great.
Yeah.
But they got punked. They got out physical. They got bullied. They got some of those things, and Mark Pope didn't appreciate those things. And he wasn't going to, call his guys out in real time, obviously.
Right.
But when push came to shove to fix those issues in the transfer portal, he said, hey, I'm going to get me Mo Diabate. I'm going to go get Aberdeen. I'm going to go bring back Otega Oway. I'm going to go sign Jaden Quains, who is the biggest freak of nature athlete I've ever seen.
I'm so excited to see JQ out there, man.
I'm telling you.
Man, what an athlete.
He is worth the hype.
He's a beast out there.
He's special. Jaden Quains is special.
But we know this is the elephant in the room. You know what I mean? Understanding the assignment, number 9. Last year, it was great coming together in a short span of time. Second year coming in, key injuries that kind of altered the trajectory of the season to my understanding, because that was at the guard play. 2 or 3 guards out, but it turned out a special successful season, Sweet 16 in my eyes. Of course, our standard is championship or bust, but to do that in a short span of time, I thought was impressive, like Jay Bilas said. But all of us Kentucky Wildcat, hooligan, golden year crazies, we want to know, is this squad a big blue Final Four contender? That's what we really want to know. We want to be like, okay, can we, number 9, understanding the assignment. And for some reason, me personally, I feel very good about coming. The personnel, the athleticism, the holes that were covered up. We got deeper because injuries were stifling. We got more physical. How do you feel about it, man? How does Jack Pilgrim feel about it?
Yeah, I think we should go. I think we should go into this year and say, this is a Sweet 16 floor.
Yeah,
and anything else is very much within reach. That we will be disappointed if this season ends and it's anything, and it's a Sweet 16. I think this team is a Final Four team. They are built as a Final Four team.
Yeah.
They're coached as a Final Four team.
Yeah.
They spent like a Final Four team.
There you go.
Like there's just that it factor to them. And I think a big part of it, Jalen Lowe, when he signed with Kentucky, I think there was a like, hey, he's going to be a pretty good point guard for Kentucky. I think he's going to be able to, he's fast, he's quick, got a quick first step, finishes well, great playmaker, all those things. But I don't think that they understood just how good he could be with more talent around him.
Yeah.
And when they saw Jalen next to Otega, next to Denzel, next to Jasper, next to, and started kind of seeing the vision, it's like, whoa, Jalen isn't just good. Jalen is all SEC good.
Yeah.
And when you have the straw that stirs the drink in your starting point guard, when you have the guy, Lamont Butler was excellent. I have heard multiple times over and over and over again that Jalen Lowe is better than Lamont Butler.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can see in your head how good Lamont was last year,
right,
and say we upgraded at the point guard position, that's hard to do when you have a dude that hit a game winner in a Final Four game.
Yeah.
When you have that alongside as much depth as they have, as much talent as they have, you have guarantees. So I think fans, if you're looking for why you should understand that this team is good, say we got guarantees. Jalen Lowe is a guarantee good. He was an all ACC guy at minimum.
Word.
But better because he's around better talent. Otega, Denzel Aberdeen, 6th man of a national championship team. He's you know how good Denzel Aberdeen is going to be.
Experience.
Mo Diabate. He's gone to a Final Four. He's been to an Elite Eight. He's been well coached. He's been well developed at Alabama.
Had a great game last year in Rupp.
He dominated against Kentucky. He's the reason why Otega ended his double-digit scoring streak. You know exactly what you're going to get in Mo Diabate. So you have 4 guarantees in my mind of guys who are going to be very good players at absolute minimum. Yeah. And then you get the wild cards. Then you start getting the man, all right, well, what if Jasper Johnson hits? Right. What if Colin Chandler breaks through the way? I mean, he was shooting 40-foot moon balls in March Madness. What happens if he takes off the way we're expecting him to? Well, then you start getting to we got 8 not just playable dudes, but really good dudes.
High potential guys.
And then like a Jaden Quaintance. You get like, hey, if he plays the way we're expecting him to play at full strength, I mean, that's a top 5 pick added to all of this stuff that we're talking. And then you talk an Andrea Yelovich, a guy who is a total question mark, total wild card. Right. What happens if he's serviceable? We're not even talking about him being a superstar. What if he is serviceable for this team?
What if he's 8 and 5?
Then we're talking. Then we're talking 12 legitimate rotation pieces. Yeah. And you say, find me the whole of this roster.
Yeah. There's no ceiling.
And the floor is so high because of the guarantees. It's you build your baseline with the guarantees, and then you build around them with potential.
And then you got Cam Williams.
Another guy.
Hit 10 straight triples.
Another guy. Yeah.
I mean, I feel great about it just because the amount of positionless basketball players that we have. I mean, like you said, Jalen Lowe is a point guard, but I think it surprised us how great he's shooting the basketball in practice. I mean, he was stroking it. He was splashing the triple. I didn't know he shot like that. But like you said, it's funny when people change teams or conferences and it brings out a different aspect of them. It brings out dog in them sometimes. So I like it, like last year, the transfers that we had, Jackson Robinson, Kobe Brea, they were in different conferences. But I think that SEC play and the level that you have to level up to, I think it's going to bring out even more. So to the type of players that we have, they got dog mentalities. So I'm optimistic. Yep. I got to get petty with this one, though, off subject. iPhone or Android? My dog. You see the Apple? Come on now. Don't be senseless. You know it. I know I love you for a reason, Jack, man. I wasn't worried at all.
Not close. Never.
No green text.
Never.
All right, chicken wings, drums or flats?
Great question. I could do either. I see the value in both. I think you get more meat with flats, but drums are more efficient eating. So it depends on how drums usually, but drums are easier to mess up, in my opinion. You overcook them, undercook them.
Word.
So it depends on where I'm eating. It depends on a lot of things, but I could do both, but if I had to have my preference, I'd say drum.
Yo, that answer is classic, bro. You really thought about that, didn't you?
We're doing this at a wing place. I mean,
I'm telling you. You're right.
Yeah.
I should have grabbed some.
Yeah.
Right, and no telling would have been drums or flats. Yeah. Hotel or Airbnb?
Ooh, good question. I think I would say Airbnb, but they get reckless with the cleaning fees, bro. I'm tired of seeing. I look through my Airbnb and they're like, "Oh man, look at this place! It's got a hot tub. It's got this. It's got that. Oh man, this is the perfect place." And it's only $129 for the night, bro. That is perfect. I click checkout, $479. I'm like, how do we go from this to this? Oh well, it's a $200 cleaning fee. I'm like, oh. And then when you actually reserve the place, you stay in the place, you show up, and there's a list of instructions for you upon exit. They say, oh, well, we want you to take your sheets off. We need you to put them in the washing machine. You need to put all your dishes in the. I'm like, so what am I paying the $200 cleaning fee for?
What's the service?
So there is a level of thoughtless, like, I know if I show up to a hotel, I don't have to touch anything. Nothing. I can leave the place.
Get up and go.
I can leave the place however I want to leave it, and I'm out. So the Airbnbs are nicer in a sense of like it's more homey, but I'm staying at a hotel 10 times out of 10 because of the other nonsense that comes with an Airbnb.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Plus, there's no telling where the Airbnb's at located. You might be around those Madison Square Garden crackheads.
That's a good point. That is a very good point.
You never know where it's at.
That's a very good point.
Because it looks different on the brochure and everything. And you get there, it's like...
It's a good point. Although I will say, we went to Columbia, Missouri last year for the Missouri Tiger game. Kentucky goes there for the last game, their senior night. Awesome game. Mm-hmm. We say it in Airbnb. Didn't say it on the brochure, but they had a basketball goal in the driveway. We pull up and we're like, word? This sounds like exactly what we needed. So we did a whole, like, we played 21 for like 5 hours that night. Cool, man. It was amazing. So there's an element of surprise sometimes. You show up and they're like, this is a cool little thing that I didn't even know.
Pool table, so, you know.
I stayed in San Diego this past summer, took my wife and baby out there, and they had chickens in the backyard. And we were like, chickens? My son, who's turning 2 in a couple weeks, obsessed with them. Wakes up and we hear that cock-a-doodle-doo. We wake up in the morning. He goes, chickens. I want to go see the chickens. We're like, all right, let's go see these chickens.
On demand.
And ends up being the highlight of the trip. Every single morning, he says good morning to the chickens and he says good night to the chickens. So
that worked out.
You just never know.
Yeah, you're right.
There is a value of the element of surprise with
pictures with the chicken. You got selfies with the chickens.
I like some of the surprises that come with Airbnbs, but they need that cleaning fee, man.
That's why
we got to do something.
We don't smoke cigarettes, man. What they doing?
We got to do something.
They're losing their mind, man. Yep. They got to tighten up. So, home cooked meal or favorite restaurant?
Man, it's a cop out answer, like my wing answer. But I ask me during basketball season what my favorite is, because
you're gonna be on the road.
When I'm on the road, I'm like, oh, the first couple of months, I'm like, man, I haven't eaten out. I need to go try this. We need to go try this. Oh, what's the best restaurant in Birmingham, Alabama? What's the best restaurant in Auburn, Alabama? Whatever the case is, and you go, oh, this is a local little sports bar. There's a ton of value in that. Yeah. But you will never convince me that when I come home
to go out
that I gotta have something on the stove. I gotta have something in the oven. Yeah. So it's a time and place for everything.
Yeah, I like that answer, because at home you're an old Kentucky homeboy. You want to be at home. You want to be hospitable, chilling. But when you go out, you want to take advantage of those trips. Like, man, I've never ate here before.
Yeah, the local, their version of a local staple. What are you guys famous for in wherever? Yeah,
you're right. Yeah. So, horseshoes or cornhole?
Cornhole for sure.
Word.
Yeah, little backyard cornhole. Yeah,
pretty nice with it.
Yeah. Got the little spin.
You put the English on,
yeah. They got the little.
That's what's up, man. Carhartt or North Face?
Ooh.
I couldn't ask you the Nike question. I know what that is.
Ooh.
That's one of them shell bugs.
North Face.
Word.
North Face.
I like North Face. That's what's up, man.
North Face.
Darts or pool?
Pool.
Word.
Pool for sure.
Pretty good at that, ain't you?
Pool for sure.
You can probably splash a jumper out there too.
Yeah, I dabble.
A little bit.
Dabble.
Got the beef, balance, elbow, eye contact, follow through. Okay, so how much Rupp Arena ice cream have you had?
You know what's funny? I haven't eaten Rupp Arena ice. So if I'm a fan, every time. Mm-hmm. If I just show up, like buying a ticket, taking my wife, taking the kid, whatever the case is, you got to do it, because it's part of the experience. Oh, yeah. But with work, doing this for the last 7-8 years, whatever, I don't think I've used my media meal voucher for a Rupp Arena ice cream one single time.
Word?
Yeah.
It's kind of like working at a restaurant, right? It's like, I don't want to eat there.
Excellent point. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Do they just sell vanilla? Because last time...
Swirl.
Okay, they got the swirl.
I don't know. I don't know if they have just chocolate.
I always have vanilla.
Swirl.
Okay. I didn't know that either. I always just got the vanilla.
Yeah.
So I gotta have it. This is Petty, your all-time Kentucky basketball dream team. Respectfully.
Ooh.
Respectfully.
Ooh. People that I've seen
Top 5
in my life, or people just, you know, like the Dan Issels and the Kyle Macy's and all that.
Since you're a connoisseur, I'll leave the landscape completely wide open.
I'm gonna go with my own lifetime that I've seen in terms of greatness.
It's easier to do it that way.
Yeah, you know,
I gotta see a lot of Jamal Mastering.
You kind of speak out of turn if you're like, oh, my favorite Kentucky basketball player is Kyle Macy. Well, why? You know, I've never seen Kyle Macy play. I know him as a OG, you know, radio. I would have seen some of those guys though. Rich Chapman and all Dan Issel. I know, I know him as the radio host, but I don't know him as the horse on, So So I'm gonna go with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Like watching greatness in real time. I told myself, this is a hot take.
It's petty. It's a petty question.
This is a hot take. I told myself watching Tyler Ulis play that, like, I remember vividly watching him and saying, this is the best point guard I've ever seen.
He was great.
I saw Brandon Knight. Leading up to that, I saw Brandon Knight. I saw the Harrisons. I saw
Rondo.
Rondo. I saw John Wall. I saw all of them up to that point. But I remember watching Tyler Ulis land. I've never seen a point guard this good. So Tyler Ulis is my point guard number 1. Shooting guard.
I like how you threw him in there. He was unbelievable. Actually,
I got to think hard and long about this. So you got to bear with me. Shooting guard. I'm going Malik Monk at shooting guard. I'm going Jamal Murray at shooting guard. I'm sorry.
You gonna go roll with Jamal?
I'm going Jamal Murray.
He was lights out with me.
At the 3, I'm going Michael Kidd-Gilchrist because that dude was a winning, tough, physical SOB. I'm going at the 4. I'm going. At the 4, I'm going Anthony Davis because
he's on my
speaks for itself. He is as good as it gets in terms of an individual accolade-filled season.
Absolutely.
And at the 5,
that's definitely tough.
At the 5, similar thing with Tyler Ulis. I told myself when I was watching Oscar Tshiebwe, I said, do not take for granted the greatness that you're watching right now when he's going for 35 and 25.
That is
do not take for granted this level of dominance. He deserves to be on a Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Boogie Cousins, Karl Anthony Towns. There are other 5s that are belonging, but a level of dominance that I don't know if we will ever see with our own 2 eyes.
Absolutely, he was a double machine. Rebounding machine.
He wasn't a double machine. He was a 20 and 20 machine.
Yeah,
he would go above and beyond every single night. Like if he went for 16 and 14, you'd say, "Damn, that was a bad night."
You're right.
What happened?
And every play, I don't think I've seen him take one play off.
Relentless.
Yeah,
that dude deserves
a workhorse.
That dude deserves credit. That dude deserves to.
Man, big shout out to the big old man. Yeah, like you said, 20 and 20, 30 and 22, all these crazy numbers. Good God Almighty, I miss Oscar, bro.
Yeah,
and I hope he continues to progress. How he's playing right now. So, let's get to business. Best shooter ever at Kentucky. Yeah, who's the sniper? Who gets the sniper award?
We're gonna stick with who I've seen.
Yeah.
See, Jamal Murray hit a 3 in every single game that he ever played at Kentucky. And I told myself that, like, do you understand how hard that is to say, like, I never had an off night?
Yeah.
It is so hard to go out there every single game and hit at least one.
So that's a true statistic. He hit a triple every game.
Every single game that he played at Kentucky.
Whoa.
I think there were higher highs with a Reed Shepherd is the highest. He has the highest shooting percentage in the history of college basketball.
Reed was nasty.
But there was a level of certainty, even like with a Deron Lamb. I think Deron Lamb was automatic.
Shot good percentage. From that corner.
Coin flip 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
But stats are stats. Numbers are numbers.
Yeah.
If you had a 3 in every single game,
numbers are numbers.
And you could trust him to hit a 3 every single time he stepped on the floor at Kentucky. I think he belongs in the list. So I'm going Jamal Murray.
I like that, bro. Shout out to Jamal. And he had a lot of, I'm not going to say a whole lot of pressure, but
I spilled beer all over myself.
So he had a lot of pressure when he played there, too, because, he was the number 1 guy, clearly, on that squad.
With Tyler Ulis distributing, letting
the 1 and the 2, baby.
Woo, I love that team.
Shout out to Tyler Ulis.
It's a shame it was the 1-2. Isaiah Briscoe, totally underrated as a cat.
Briscoe.
Love me some Isaiah Briscoe.
Yeah.
And then we had the 4 and 5 spots.
Briscoe was tough.
That's just another.
Briscoe was tough.
That's just
6'3", wide shoulders. He can get to the cup.
He was like the best one-on-one hooper.
Yeah, he gonna get to the basket.
If
where's he from?
He's from.
Is he from the inner city? Yeah, he's from a Jersey kid. Yeah. He got that Jersey about him.
Yeah, he's a New Jersey kid.
Word. So National what day? Like, you know how people like. It's national, like, today could be National
Sunday, Boyfriend Day,
Pickle Juice Day. Are you keeping up with this?
No.
This is getting crazy.
There was, I think 2 days ago was National Sons Day.
Right, I missed it.
And I have 2 sons.
Right, I have a son.
And I have 2 sons, and I was like, oh, damn, I would have given a shout out to my baby boys, but
I was like, yo,
I don't keep track of it.
Nobody gave me the memo, Jack.
I know.
I'm like, word. No. So what's the most you ever seen campus lit up? Like, I'm talking about like turned up, electric, burning couches. They doing flips, cartwheels. They doing keg stands. What did you see? When did you see was the most electrifying and turned up?
So my freshman year was the
2012,
2014-15 team at UK. So that run, run, bro. Like, so imagine your freshman year, your first college experience.
Yeah.
Hey, what is college like?
Yeah.
Imagine the most dominant college basketball team in the history of the sport
ever.
Being your first run. So I saw I watched every single game that year at Rupp Arena. That was a magical.
That was a field day, wasn't it?
Magical year. So so being a part of that was just like you know greatness as it's unfolding. And that was just like, I'm just taking a step back and just soaking this in.
That was legendary to the next level. And we knew we'd never see it again.
That was something
Maybe
special.
not. I hope we do.
That was something special.
Good God. Remember that play, speaking of Tyler Ewis, that play with the no-look pass behind the back to Willie Collins-Stein?
Auburn on the road.
Yeah, just, and then the two-headed windmill.
Bruce Pearl's first year. Bruce Pearl's first year. I remember that.
Bruce. And Bruce just retired, right?
That was wild.
How you feel about that, man? Shout out to Bruce Pearl, man. One of our top competitors.
It opens up the SEC so much. It's so beautiful because I already felt good about Kentucky winning the SEC this year.
Right.
And I thought Auburn with Bruce Pearl they were right there.
So is that a sign of vulnerability, like stating, okay, they're going through this transition. They may not be as tough as they were the last 3 or 4 years.
So Stephen Pearl, great at game planning, scouting, preparation.
Right.
Great at those things.
His son, right?
But yes, that's the new head coach.
Yeah.
So there's something different about game day, about approach, about that locker room speech.
Right.
Stephen Pearl's never had a locker room speech.
Right.
Bruce Pearl will rip his shirt off and scream and cry and sob.
His face was red before the tip-off.
And that does something to a team that Stephen Pearl has not experienced. We don't know that yet. So Bruce Pearl as an in-game coach and getting his dudes ready for a game was as good as the sport has seen in a very long time.
Right.
So to lose that, no matter how talented the team is, no matter how highly I think of Stephen Pearl as a coach and as a basketball mind, I think he's going to do well. But there's an it factor with Bruce Pearl that Auburn will absolutely be missing this year. And like I can't pick them to finish even top 4 in the SEC without knowing that Stephen Pearl can even come close to the vibe that Bruce brought.
The energy, the foundation. Yeah. His personality is just catchy. Like, even we like Bruce. You know what I mean? He's somebody, hey, Bruce, come on, man, let's go play some golf. You know what I mean? He's that guy, right? Mm-hmm. Because when the coaching thing was going on, he was actually in my top 3 of possibilities. I'm like, maybe I might.
What if I told you that he wanted to be the head coach of the University of Kentucky?
Word?
Bad.
He loves Kentucky.
He wanted it bad. I had people reaching out to me through like from Bruce through a third party reaching out to me going, hey, if we get to the point of the list where Bruce Pearl is involved, we would be interested. So
but now your perspective,
fascinating to see, like, what if that would have been
right? Because now your perspective,
when would he have retired?
Right.
I think
it would have been different.
It would have been a lot different.
I think it may not be. It definitely wouldn't have been as early.
No. This
he would have signed for 5 years.
This was the golden goose job for him. Yeah.
So, man, shout out to Bruce Pearl, though, man. I am going to miss his red face on the sideline.
Ripping the shirt off college game day.
Yeah, he going bananas.
That dude's a psychopath.
Absolutely, bro. So, artificial intelligence. How you feel about it, Jack? What's some pros and cons, or they're all pros or all cons? How you feel about it?
There are good things with it and bad things with it. Like I saw something yesterday that they are using AI for like CCTV, like security footage, and like faking, like knowing people like shoplifting in store, and like saying like, oh, look at this dude that just shoplifting. You'd be like,
that's crazy.
I've never even been in that store. But so it's scary in some ways.
Word.
But the way like ChatGPT can expedite things in ways that we've never experienced. So there are goods and bads that come with AI, and
you're right. Depends on what market, what industry, because like you said, there's people writing songs, and I swear up and down this is Eminem. I mean? But he took his voice, and it's crazy.
And in those ways, it waters down the quality of authenticity. Of authenticity with artists that we know and love, and so that part sucks. That it is not a rawness with a lot of the things that we have come to, the art forms, especially. But there's also a lot of good that comes with AI, like
a lot of shortcuts
in the medical field and things like that. Learning things more quickly and things. There's a lot of good that comes with.
Yeah. What do you use more, Google or ChatGPT?
Google.
Just
for OG purposes.
The OG, triple OG. You're right. It's just Google.
I got the time. I don't need to. Yeah. I don't know. And maybe it's just I need to be more intentional about how much I will be real. I use ChatGPT a lot. Like if there's a document, like 45-page document or something, I'm like, dude, I do not have the time to read this just absolute book of an article or whatever. Right. I will copy and paste that whole thing, plug it into ChatGPT, say summarize this for me, and it gives me a nice little section to look at. I go, perfect. I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I move on. So time and place,
You're right. Because some of this technology is a requirement for, like, say, our kids, like students. Like, life is completely different, especially school. For college professors, everything, man. It's crazy. So, what's the craziest thing a fan's ever said to you in an event or a game?
Man, I had, so at that Mark Pope press conference that we talked about earlier, I had a fan call me over, say, Jack, and had a ball and toss it down to me and said, sign this.
Basketball?
Oh, basketball. And I'm like, I don't think you understand that I'm actively depreciating the value of your ball by signing this right now. You don't understand. Like, you got, like, this dude had autographs of Mark Pope and John Calipari and Tony Bilk. Legends. And he's like, you sign this. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this ball is dropping in value with just me holding it right now. Let alone signing it. So that part is just like, dude, come on, man. Like,
that's catchy.
Just don't. Just keep it to the people that actually matter.
That's horrible though. You're popular though, man. You're pretty popular. So let me ask you this: one has to go. Amazon online shopping or tacos?
Whoa, those are two. Wow. Sorry, Amazon.
Funny to think about.
Sorry, Amazon. See ya. I'm not getting rid of tacos.
You're not getting rid of that? The guacamole, the queso, all that?
Man.
That's hard to pass up, man.
See, what's funny is, like, I live in Shelbyville.
Yeah.
Shelbyville has 100 Mexican restaurants everywhere. So, like,
down the line.
So, like, we dabble in some Mexican food around here, and I'm like, knowing where I live.
You couldn't imagine going without it?
Right. Like, knowing where I live, I can't justify, like, hey, you know how 90% of the restaurants in this area are Mexican restaurants? Let's take away tacos. I can't do it. So for my own sanity, we're keeping tacos.
Hey, I can respect that for sure because I love tacos, bro.
Love them.
So another petty one. A song you could go forever without hearing again.
Man, there's a lot.
There's a lot of them in there, especially now.
There's a lot. Man, I find myself listening to less and less music.
Yeah.
Like,
you're a busybody, man.
But of today's music, more like I just feel like the value of good music nowadays has dropped so substantially. Where like anything nowadays, I'm just like, man, I remember like
you enjoy the old school.
When I was a kid, I remember I'd listen to an album and be like, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. And then now, like, I don't remember the last time I've listened to an album and was like,
full album.
Hey, I'm listening to a classic right now.
Right.
When's the last time you listened to an album and said, this right now in 2025 is a classic?
Yeah, a lot of artists don't even drop albums anymore.
Well, it's all about quantity over quality. Yeah. They just drop, the
singles and the jingles and
constant.
Taylor Swift's album dropped today though. I understand.
I haven't listened to a single song yet. Yeah. I probably will not be listening to a single song.
So let's get to this though. Let's get to business. Discipline or motivation? Which one you feel is more important?
Discipline. Discipline is, I think, the most underrated. Like, I catch myself in the healthiest, best I've ever felt is when I say, hey, I'm going to the gym every single morning.
There you go.
I'm I'm a man of faith, so like, getting into the Bible, getting into a like strict set schedule and going about my day. I find myself feeling better about myself than any type of motivation could do for me in terms of, chip on my shoulder.
And you're a man of routine too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I respect that and I understand that about you, especially within your career field. Mm-hmm. You got early mornings, don't you?
And with babies, man, you have no choice but to have a routine.
Oh yeah,
you have to have.
Got to get them on that.
Yeah. My wife is a saint. She's so good at managing schedules and getting, I try to do, man, like I think it's so important for the husband and the dad to be a dad and put the kids to sleep and to be a part of the nighttime routine and stuff. But like, man, there are times that like, hey, I cannot physically make this work right now.
Right.
And she's always the first person to jump in and be that kind of stopgap.
Hey, shout out to the wifey, man.
She's excellent.
Hey, that support foundation is brilliant, man. It means a lot, man.
She's the best.
So how can people follow your work? Because you have a lot, like you said, y'all put in a lot of work. You put a lot of content out. There's a lot of journalism, a lot of information, updates. What's the main source of people following you for Kentucky Sports Radio?
I'd say on Twitter, on X, I think that's the main one. But YouTube, especially with Sources Say podcast, we do the rapid reactions after every game, and we do the happy hours every week. We're constantly just putting content. So
it's dope, man. I love it.
So the KSR YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribed over there.
Most definitely subscribe to that.
We do the KSR Plus, the KS message board.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun over there. It's a community. It's just a bunch of goofballs just talking nonsense all day, every day. And it's a good way to just kind of disconnect and be a part of the BBN diehard.
Yeah, I love that laid back environment.
We have a lot of fun over there, just goofing off. So I'd say the best places to find me: KS board, KSR YouTube channel, and then
there you go.
Social medias, but KentuckySportsRadio.com.
Yeah,
obviously that's where the
KSR. Make sure y'all tap into that for sure. And he has a little bit of time. You got any shout outs? No shout outs? The fam?
Fam, man. That's
Big Blue Nation.
Hey, BBN, you are the reason why I have a job. You're the reason why I'm able to turn this dream into a reality, man. So I'm forever grateful.
We got Big Blue Madness coming up, man. I'm getting into the mood and the spirit, man. Mm-hmm. So hey, I appreciate your time, Jack, for sure, for Sugar And to kill another elephant in the room, I seen y'all's UK and Georgia football predictions. Then y'all had the Cats. I seen Tyler's, I seen Nick's, I seen Jacob's, I seen Zach's, Adams, Drew, the whole crew, including yourself. Y'all got the Bulldogs beating the brakes off the Cats. Understandably, we get it. We understand. So let's talk about these Kentucky football struggles before we get out of here. The speculations of Stoops, the departure. We got smacked by South Carolina. What's your personal perspective on the program, the optimism, the direction, the hopefulness? What can we feel? What can we see? What can we lean on and count on?
Disappointment.
Word.
Yeah. I am. So to Stoops' credit,
yeah, shout out to Stoops.
He has done things with this program that have never been done before. He set a standard for this program that we never thought that we could even feel, and I think that's a really important thing to acknowledge. Mm-hmm. But it's also a very important thing to acknowledge that he got paid accordingly.
I think that's the clicker. You know what I mean? People are looking at that,
and people like they're just traditionalists with Kentucky football that have been around forever.
Yeah.
Throw that in my face because I'm young. They throw that in my face and go, "Well, you weren't around when we won 2 games. You weren't around when we went 10 years and did this this." Those coaches in that era didn't get paid $10 million a year to do their job.
That's the element. Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
Mark Stoops pushed and pushed and pushed and had top recruiting classes and won 10 games and did things. 1977, the first time, the last time that we had a 10-win season. He's done it twice, and he did that 2020, 2018, 2021.
Bowl games.
He has 8 straight years of bowl games.
Yeah.
I will never, ever, ever diminish the success that Mark Stoops has accomplished in Lexington. He deserves to be idolized for eternity for what he's been able to accomplish in Lexington.
Yeah.
But there's a responsibility that comes with when you push to that territory. Yeah. You have reset, you've recalibrated the standard of what it means to be at the University of Kentucky, what winning looks like at the University of Kentucky for the football program.
Word.
If you're going to get to that point, you can't tell me, Mr. Blue Collar, we're Youngstown tough. We do things the hard way. We wear a chip on our shoulder everywhere we go. You can't have that mentality and have that be your pride and joy. How you became, the bring your lunch pail to work guy every single day, mm-hmm. and then start making excuses. Well, we need more NIL money. Well, what about, the schedule's so hard. It's like, whoa, you can't have your cake and eat it too, bro. You can't be a top 10 paid coach, mm-hmm. embodying Youngstown tough, and then start making excuses. I remember when we were beating, Florida and ending these decades long streaks. And then saying, well, we're not stopping there. It's time to beat Georgia. It's time to go to Atlanta. It's time to... And we're like, we're at the University of Kentucky talking about winning an SEC football championship? Are we serious here? And you had us believe.
Yeah.
And it was the most beautiful thing in the world to be a Kentucky football fan and believe that an SEC championship in football was within reach. Yeah. Whether it was possible or not, it felt within reach because of Mark Stoops, because of Vince Merrill, because of the guys, the John Schlarmans, the guys that made it feel possible.
Yeah.
And then you got paid. And then you got the extensions, and then you got this, then you got that. You got the cushy setup.
Yeah.
And then the excuses started coming. And that's when I stopped appreciating the greatness of the past and started being worried about the future. So mm-hmm. I love Mark Stoops. Mm-hmm. I will be same way with John Calipari, but there is a shelf life that comes with this job and being anywhere that at some point you gotta call a spade and say that this current product is not acceptable.
So is it kind of like the Jerry Jones effect?
It's a perfect example.
Right.
But without the actual Super Bowls in the past.
Right, because he was killing it at first.
Like we got 2 10-win seasons, and we're just like, hey, we never have to do a thing ever again. Right. And that's what bothers me is the living in right now and watching the slippage, watching things kind of the downfall.
That hurts.
And going, well, I thought we were tearing down goal. I thought we were focused on moving beating Georgia and going to SEC championships and getting to Atlanta, and hey, we're not stopping anything. We're busting down new walls. And
I think that's what hurts the most is when we were there 7-5. We were mingling over 500 every year. So you see that hope there. 7-5. 8-4. You see and get to a bowl game, and then like you said, when you witness that slippage, I think that's the most painful.
I was more frustrated in the 7-5s than I was with the 4-8s because the talent was so much better. The expectations were so much higher. When you have Chris Rodriguez and Will Levis in that group in 2021, and you have back-to-back years of 7-5, 7-6 because they lost the bowls, and it was like
right.
It was like these dudes are like
pros.
Yeah, and we were making excuses for them, and the culture started getting bad, and all, and we were like, whoa, you guys are letting this program slip from under your feet, and then you lose 4 games. So it's like the whole 1 year blip, and the thing like, well, it was just a 4 win season. It's like, yeah, but you also had the most talented roster the program has ever felt. Yeah. And you only won 7 games with it.
First round running back.
Right. Wandale, just go down the list. There's so many things that Wandale went pro after that, and then, it was 22 on. But from 2022, 2023, you had Barryon Brown, you had Dane Key.
Brown was tough. Key was tough.
You had that core.
And even this year, I think we have, Dowdell, we have Law, we have pieces, Macklin. But it's like, when you watch them, it's like, it's not coming together. It's not, and I've seen the frustration on Stoops on the sideline. I don't see him doing a lot of teaching, which there's not a lot of teaching to do during game time. It's not a whole lot of coaching. But I see him getting frustrated, towards staff and things of that nature. But I don't see a lot of coaching. I don't see a lot of, come here, tugging people by the chin straps and having those one-on-ones, and I just don't see that football coach spirit of him right now. And it could have been there and deflated. We don't know. But we know that spark is not here right now. And I would love to see it build back up a little bit. But
I love Kentucky football, man. I love Mark Stoops. Yeah. But you felt like all of us when John Calipari at the end of his career, you just watched him coach games, you watched him talk to the media. Yeah. And you said, this is just not working anymore, man. Like we can't just force something that doesn't feel right.
The air is out of the tire.
Right. You can't just, and it's not even the air is out of the tire, it's that there is a stab in the side of it over and over again. And we keep shoving the air in the side and going, damn, it's just
keep trying to fix a flat.
The tire just keeps deflating. It's like, there are stab wounds. There are stab wounds in the side, and we keep are we just gonna pretend that every time we keep shoving it back,
we're on the road now.
Air back in the side, like it's just going to magically stay inflated? No. Yeah. It feels like a.
Does he care?
It feels like a point of.
Does he care as much as?
No, of course not.
He's eating steak right now, right?
Right. Right. Yes. He cares on paper because he has to care because that's what his contract mandates.
Shout out to Stoops, man. Hopefully he turns into something else. I feel like that was the closest to optimism and hope the season has, because I knew how good Ole Miss was. It's disappointing.
Well, this conversation started with a Georgia game.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna be Georgia that makes you feel better. If you thought Ole Miss made you feel bad and you thought South Carolina made you feel bad,
it's gonna hurt, man.
Yes, I predicted a blowout loss. Yeah, and it's gonna be a blowout loss.
Don't place your FanDuel bet on them.
No.
Yeah, because the SEC's tough in basketball every season. We don't make excuses though. Every season. Last year it was the toughest. It was the toughest conference maybe of all time.
And what the difference when we were talking the difference between Mark Stoops in the future of Kentucky football versus Mark Pope in the future? It was no. We are Kentucky basketball. We should want the toughest schedule in college basketball. We should want the toughest conference. It's the toughest that we've ever seen. The history of SEC is the toughest conference in the history of college basketball. Yeah, that's what we should demand because we're Kentucky basketball. That's how it should be. On the other side, it's SEC football's hard,
which has always been like Come on, you talking Florida, Georgia, Alabama. I mean, there's dogs. There's always been dogs. What was he expecting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He didn't care when the check got cut.
And the check's still coming. Unfortunately.
Man, maybe we could turn it around. But man, I appreciate your time though, Jack, man. It was nice chopping up with you, man. I know your time is short. Basketball season is kicking off, man. It's starting up. You got to meet up with Mark and the crew and the gang and go over all types of elements and things of that nature. So I appreciate you kicking with me, man. Kentucky Sports Radio. Yeah, we outside, man.
Nothing like it, man. Yeah, it's an honor, and I'm glad that you know, the kind words meant a lot, but like I'm glad that we can, you know, have opportunities like this to just kind of chop it up and preview a season and get excited for the real stuff. But you know, Kentucky basketball season coming up, man. There's a lot to be excited for.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that we can just, you know, have an opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. I'm the man with the plan. I'm the one to do it. Who stands out to you in practice? Who's surprising to you?
Jalen Lowe, man. He's good, man. He's
Silky
very
smooth.
Good. He's very good. He's very, very good.
Is it the IQ? Is he got the total package?
He's quick. He's got that want to defensively. Like he's physically limited. He's 6'1", 6'2", 170 pounds. Like he's not gonna, you know, blow you up physically. But like, man, he's got that it factor of like, hey, I know I'm physically limited. But like Tyler Ulis,
kid.
Tyler Ulis was 5'7", 150 pounds.
He could get to his spots,
he was an SEC Defensive Player of the Year. And you were
tenacious.
Like, wait, that dude at 5'7", 160 pounds was SEC Defensive Player of the Year? Yeah, because he had the want to. And Jalen Lowe has the want to.
And he had more heart than anyone.
Heart, man.
I would say Oscar Freeway, Tyler Ulis. Yeah.
Heart over
height, man. The man with a life, bro. So shout out to the Big Blue Nation, man. Jack Pilgrim, Kentucky Sports Radio.
Yo, let's get the business.